Okay, so Dricus Du Plessis lost in his last fight to Khamzat Chimaev. Pretty embarrassingly, not gonna lie. I mean, I love DDP personally. He got 50-44 though, and without taking damage. Like Khamzat Chimaev, he landed like 30 significant strikes out of 500 plus total strikes, which is kind of really bad. Like, that's below Marab numbers. Like, that is bad. Really, really bad. Like, I mean, anyways, but yeah, Dricus Du Plessis lost, and he made a statement saying how he's not deterred and he believes he can still make it to the title shot. So here I'm going to be explaining his next fights. As you can see, there's 3 boxes with question marks, and I'm going to be putting each of his opponents in these boxes. So let's start out with the first one, which is Caio Borralho. Borralho's going to fight Imavov, and I'm picking Imavov to win. And I think the loser of the fight, whether it's Imavov or Borralho, is a great first fight for Dricus Du Plessis, especially if it's Borralho. Borralho, he is a good striker, and he's a good grappler. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's probably the best well-rounded fighter in the middleweight division. He does everything mid, basically, and I think he's a great first opponent for DDP to fight. I think DDP completely schools him. The only thing Borralho has is a jab, and I will say the jab used to be DDP's biggest weakness. Strickland landed that all day. DDP has good hook defense, but he does get hit with the jab a lot. But in his second fight against Strickland, he negated the jab pretty well. Like, he barely got hit with the jab compared to the first fight, and that's really all Borralho has to offer. DDP is going to improve his grappling. I don't think Borralho can take him down even before the Khamzat Chimaev fight, but his grappling did look pretty shit, so he probably could have taken him down. But after the Chimaev fight, I don't think Borralho's taking DDP down. And on the feet, I'm really favoring DDP. DDP 50-45 Strickland beat Adesanya. He did grapple with Adesanya, but still, on the feet, it was competitive with Adesanya, and that's impressive. And yeah, the only thing Borralho has is a jab, a calf kick, and the knee, and he'll let his left hand go sometimes. But yeah, I think DDP schools him. I think he completely just, yeah, fucking 50-45s him. I don't think he finishes Borralho. Borralho is really good grappling. But yeah, Borralho, perfect first fight for DDP on his comeback to get back to the title shot. The next fight I think he should take is RDR. This fight speaks for itself. We all want the RDR fight, and I want it any way we can get it. And RDR is fighting Hernandez, and I think RDR loses to Hernandez, and I don't think the UFC wants to rush DDP into another title shot. He got dominated, so I just see them giving him the losers of these big fights because they're not going to give him someone outside the top five. Even though Borralho's outside the top five, but still, he should be. The only reason he's ranked outside the top five is because he's inactive. He did beat Cannonier when he was like ranked number 4 or 5. But anyways, RDR, this fight stylistically is going to be an awesome fight, and I do favor DDP again in this fight because RDR has good wrestling. He doesn't have the best takedowns. He has a good clinch game, but to clinch with DDP, you're going to have to pressure him, and I don't think RDR can pressure DDP as good as Khamzat Chimaev can. He's going to have to wrestle him against the cage. I don't think DDP is going to allow that to happen. DDP is a way better striker. He's way more dangerous. He knocked down Whitaker with a jab. RDR couldn't knock down Whitaker at all. He did land some big shots, but still, RDR is really sloppy, and so is DDP. But RDR makes DDP look technical. Like, RDR, he flails his big arms around, and I really think DDP schools him. In the grappling, I definitely favor RDR, but I don't think RDR is going to be able to grapple with DDP, and I do think it's important to give DDP these grapplers to prove he can fight for the belt again, like Borralho and like RDR. If he can beat these fighters, he can prove to the UFC and to the fans that he can beat these grapplers again, and maybe he can beat Chimaev in a rematch. So yeah, I think RDR, perfect fight. I think he loses to Hernandez. If RDR beats Hernandez, then give DDP Hernandez. He should just fight the loser of the RDR versus Hernandez fight. So yeah, I think those are 2 great fights for DDP to take next. And I don't think he should take a long time for his next fight because he didn't take a lot of damage. And after a loss like Hamza, it's best not to take a lot of time off. It's not good to let that fester in your mind because that was really embarrassing. Like, I don't think DDP should take 6 months off. Like 6 months with that just sitting in your head of you getting dominated. I think he should get in there as quick as possible because he didn't take a lot of damage, you know. And now for his next fight, if he wins this next fight, he should get a title shot 100%. Maybe one more after, depending on how active Chimaev is. Like, if Chimaev isn't really active, he's probably going to have to win 4 fights. But his next fight should be Nasruddin Imavov. And I don't expect him to take this fight right away because Imavov, he's fighting Barallo, and if he beats Barallo, which I think he will, he'll probably be fighting for the title. So I think DDP should fight Imavov after he fights Barallo and after he fights Chimaev, and I think he loses to Chimaev. I don't see Chimaev really losing to anyone now besides maybe Hernandez, and maybe RDR can cause him some problems, and maybe even Imavov too, because he has good striking. But I definitely see Imavov losing to Chimaev, and if he loses, especially if it's a close fight, and he fights Imavov and he beats Imavov, he should be fighting for the title shot next. You know, as a champion, he had really good wins, and if he puts these 3 wins together, I think he deserves another shot. Especially if the middleweight contenders aren't really active, you just have to give it to DDP after he wins these next 3 fights, which I think he will. Imavov is a tricky fight for him, though. Imavov has really good striking. He's really fast, and he might actually cause really big problems for DDP. This is probably his toughest fight out of these 3 fights. I'm definitely his toughest fight. Mavov is really good. He's a really good striker. He's really fast and explosive. He has good wrestling. He doesn't have the best cardio, and he doesn't really go to his wrestling a lot. He does go sometimes, but it's usually when someone tries to grapple with him, he'll grapple back. But on the feet, I see this as a really tough fight for DDP, and I honestly don't know if he wins this fight, especially depending on how good Imavov looks in his next 2 fights. But yeah, this should be the next fight for DDP after he beats Barallo, schools RDR. He should fight Imavov next after those 2 fights. And then we can see him get back to the title shot. Whoop Chimaev. That would be perfect. Let's go. DDP versus Barallo, RDR, then Imavov. He schools them all. Besides Imavov, he's a bit tricky for DDP, to be honest. But yeah, that's it.